talk about is Jimmy Crute versus Anthony Lionheart Smith. Now, to be honest, obviously being Aussie, we're going for Jimmy Crute. Everyone was very high on Jimmy Crute, being 25 years old, now fighting in the top 10 of the UFC light heavyweight division. I think he was doing really well in that first round. Really, really well, chopping up Lionheart's lead leg. He was doing really, really fucking well. And just got an absolute freak of it was reminiscent of the Sean O'Malley TKO, actually. That one right low kick that just wrapped around the leg and went back on the back of the knee, hit his common peroneal nerve, and just gave him serious drop foot. And I must say, props to Jimmy Crute, because he managed to nail two amazing takedowns with so much force and so much strength, and he did so well. It looked like if he could stay on top and manage to do a little bit of ground and pound, he doesn't have to get up off the ground. He's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He could go for a submission or just control him from there. And even if he just stayed in full guard, if that was that, he takes down Anthony Smith, stays in full guard, and just hits him with ground and pound, allows his leg to recover a little bit, tries to break guard, stand on his feet, he's ready to go again. It's just the way it goes, because he got hit with such a good kick to the back of the knee, and it just caught him in the sweet spot. And obviously there's no real meat around there or real muscle at the back of the knee to actually, it's very exposed. It's definitely a weakness when it comes to human physiology that a lot of people are exploiting now with these kicks. And he looked pretty good when it came to walking back and forth, when it came to the doctor assessing how bad the drop foot was, right? It looked like he recovered until he took one more step and it just gave way, and he wasn't able to continue. You could see he was very upset, punched the cage, was very annoyed. Anthony Smith, always a man of class, true gentleman when it comes to the sport, sat down with him and just consoled him a little bit. And I'd love to see a fight like that again. But obviously, it's a legit win for Smith, because it's exactly what he planned to do. I don't know if he was expecting it to be that effective, but it seriously was. Just hit him in the sweet spot, and that's just how it goes. And to be honest, I don't see this as a bad look for Jimmy Crute, because he's 25 years old, so much potential, looked really good against Smith. And to be honest, when it comes to that, like, Smith's one kind of proper significant strike was that kick that just wrapped around the back of the knee and gave him horrendous drop foot. And to be honest, Jimmy Crute can be expected to make a quick turnaround, because once that paralysis of his that common peroneal injury goes away, he'll be able to fight very, very quickly. And if he wants to have that rematch against not rematch, but his fight against Johnny Walker that was supposed to happen, which Anthony Smith became the alternate with, I'd love to see him fight Johnny Walker as well. Let's see that happen. But it's funny to see in the last 2 years, we're seeing so many more calf kicks that are becoming incredibly more apparent and way more effective. Since Benson Henderson did it, we're starting to see them being used a lot more effectively. And dude, like the calf kicks and the kick behind the back of the knee. I think the kick behind the back of the knee is actually worse than a proper calf kick, because at least if you're kicking a calf, which the common peroneal nerve runs through, at least you've got your gastrocnemius and your soleus muscle to actually take a little bit of the brunt, and you can condition that. You can't condition the back of your knees. You can't. There's hardly any muscle back there. It's exposed. There's no bone in front. Because it's the behind your patella. No, you can't. It can't be done. It's just a weak spot when it comes to human physiology.
It's because it's where the sciatic nerve runs. Now, I was watching a couple of videos of doctors breaking down the kick. They said that, yes, you do recover from drop foot, and it's that nerve damage. It's because you're completely unable to dorsiflex or plantar flex your foot. That's why Jimmy could not lift up his toes, and it's because that area is exposed. He can't balance on it at all, and obviously balancing on one leg is a lot more. It's really obviously incredibly difficult. They all agreed that it was clearly that they should have called off the fight. If he was given a lot more time, let's say if they gave him another few minutes, maybe he could have came back and sort of fought, because Jimmy was fucking doing well for someone who had fighting on one leg. You've got to give that. But the doctors had every right to call it off and understand it, and it was a very smart move to do because his leg was not in any condition to keep going. And then the doctor's got to ask himself, if I let this guy fight, even though he's on one leg and he's doing well, the damage could be a lot more worse, because if that leg gets kicked again, then it could be blown out. Now, Dana White said in the press conference that he reckons his leg was completely blown out. However, judging by the doctor's decision, I do believe it was just drop foot. I'm sure by the time of this recording right now, he should definitely have a lot of feeling back into his leg. He should almost be moving around. He'll definitely have some soreness and some numbing for the next couple of days. But it was every right for the doctor to call it off, and I don't believe that anybody should be booing him. And second of all, I think Jimmy has once again put a moment in history where even though he had one leg, he was still doing incredibly well. I think a lot of fighters...
Those takedowns were impressive. I'm not going to lie, those impressive.
They were impressive.
He was
especially for a heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly. And he was very effective when it came to just redirecting where he was going when he was on one foot. I thought it was incredibly impressive how he managed to take down Lionheart with his whole body, but he was only able to really push off one leg. And I thought it was impressive how he could do it twice in such a short period of time, where he's got really bad drop foot and he couldn't move around. And then when he was able to recover, he's sitting on the stool, and he gets up. He was still able to walk a little bit. As soon as he tried to walk backwards, it just gave out. And that's just the thing, how it goes. It's just, I think with the emergence of the calf kick and kicking behind the knee that's affecting the common peroneal nerve, I think it's become so effective now that some people are going to start tinkering they're going to start tinkering now. What is the best way to actually counter it other than moving out of the way? And to be honest, my main criticism is probably that a lot of people haven't thought of a way yet. They've tried to check it, but at the end of the day, there'll be some form of damage. I honestly think that the best way against this calf kick is to never let it touch. And I think Sean O'Malley did it the best so far. I know that we saw a little bit in the Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera fight where calf kicks were being used, and they're doing a not too bad way of checking them, but you can still see that damage was taking place, and it can accumulate over time. Those calf kicks, you can shoot them out very, very quickly, and you can be at a very far range in order to just catch them with your toe. And that's all you kind of need. Sean O'Malley probably did it the best just by getting out of the way. Just inches out. All he has to do, just inch out just enough and jump back in. And that's all he has to do. Inch out, inch back in. And I feel distance control is the main way to counter the calf kick. As soon as you see it coming, just inch out, come back in. And that's the best way. Don't even get any damage. Don't check it. Don't try it. It's not a Muay Thai kick into the leg. You can't get anywhere around these calf kicks now.
Well, it's a gamble. That's the thing. It's a gamble because if you come back and then you check it, then you're obviously going to cause some damage, especially in that sweet spot where Chris Weidman was taken down, or if you have a proper shin conditioning, then you're going to really put some pain on them, put some damage on them. So I do agree with you on that distance control. And if you're having that quicker check or just getting out of the way, that's definitely one way to counter it. But I feel like calf kicks really have been around for quite some time. But then again, it's knowing where to kick, where to target specifically. Because Jose Aldo was always known for his leg kicks. And if you go back and watch his fight against Uriah Hall, where his whole leg...
Uriah Faber.
Yeah. Sorry, Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber. So leg kicks have definitely been around for quite some time, but now they're even more, what's the word, refined, where they know specifically where to go and where the weak points are in the body to make them most effective. So to play on what happened, but the thing is, if they're going to if more people are going to be using them, which they are now, then there's more information that's going to be used around them. So I do believe very soon, coming in the future, people are going to be having a better understanding on how to counter them. It's just now there's so much now for the first time. There's so much attention towards just this one move because UFC, so MMA has been around, and now it's getting to a point where we're proving what techniques are the most effective and the most game-changing compared to which techniques are the least effective and almost completely irrelevant. So that's, and then if a more complete fighter is one who understands all the most effective techniques, refines them, and adds to his own style, So that's really all I can finish up of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot like you said, Jose Aldo, master of the leg kick, especially. Well, it was specifically the Muay Thai leg kick to the outer side of the quad and the inside of the leg, and he was so effective with that. I mean, you can see Uriah Faber leaving, and he's on crutches, legs still blue and purple, even a week after. But the Thais have been doing leg kicks for thousands of years. They've been doing it for such a long period of time, and they transitioned into MMA because more Muay Thai and kickboxing orientated fighters have then transitioned, opposed to the wrestlers and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. And now we're starting to see kicking below the knee being actually really effective and behind the knee being effective. So look, like you said, and I think you put it really well, the more people are utilizing it and making it shown that it's an effective tool, is that someone will also make an effective tool to counter that effective tool. Yeah. So I'm ready to see what some people do other than getting out of the way in order to counter this effective tool. It's incredibly important in MMA right now. Incredibly important. That's one of the major tools that's really been the most effective and the most proficient when it comes to quick finishes in the UFC in the last couple of years.